Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter Windstorms and Cyclones of class 7th NCERT book. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you that yesterday we have discussed about the topic about air and how it is being formed. To some extent, properties of air also we have discussed. So in the last class, it was being discussed that air exerts pressure. So today I am going to start with how there were conditions where air was exerting pressure. Now today we will see the next conditions where air is exerting this atmospheric pressure. Okay, so yesterday's topic in yesterday's experiment, this experiment I have told you that where air is present in this small tin can, and how is this steam was making this tin can to be distorted once it was condensed back into the form of water by adding a cup of cold water. Or if we put this hot can under the water, then what will happen? It is going to be crushed and it is going to be distorted, it is going to be disshaped. Now next thing is that when air is exerting pressure, okay, or another type of pressure which is being exerted by air is then when it starts moving. Means till now we have studied that if air is inside a closed container, then it is exerting pressure. Okay, now what happen if air is blowing or air is moving? So moving air, which is the air which is moving, is known as wind. Okay, so this is very common definition of wind, that moving air is called wind, and this moving air is going to exert pressure, is going to exert a force on the objects upon which it strikes. An object which is moving is said to possess kinetic energy. Okay, so the object which is going to be which is having kinetic energy. Why? Because the kinetic energy is a kind of energy which is present in an object when it is moving. Till the time it is moving, it possesses kinetic energy. Now if this wind is moving, it means it is having kinetic energy, and that energy is being exerted in the form of pressure, in the form of force on the objects which is coming in its path. Okay, so some of the observation from our daily life which can tell you that moving air also exerts pressure. So the first example which is going to explain about the air which is not blowing is also exerting pressure, and the air which is flowing is also going to exert pressure on an object. Next, the first example in this condition is, the first one is, if air around us is not blowing, then we find that the leaves of the trees, flags, banners, etc. do not move. If you are putting clothes on the on this if your clothes are hanging on this rope, then what will happen? Is this moving with if the air is not blowing? No, it is not going to move. It is only going to move, it is also going to be moving when the air is blown, or this wind starts blowing. Then what happens? This is not going to move at all. It remains standstill. It is going to be standstill. Okay, but when the air blows, then the leaves of the trees, flags and banners starts fluttering, or it starts moving. Okay, similarly, if the clothes are hanging on this rope, then what happens to these clothes? They also start moving with air, okay, with the wind. So this is due to the presence of the moving air or the wind. Fine, it is going to exert pressure. So the leaves, the flags, all these are going to be moving when the wind starts blowing. Fine. Next is that now you have seen that on the hoardings. Have you ever seen hoardings? Hoardings means the banners which are displaying the advertisements. They are being hanging on the surface, or they are hanging on the walls, or they are hanging with the help of pillars. Okay, they are being studded on the pillars. Now what happened what happens when the wind blows? It starts moving, and because it is being tightly bound with this it is tightly bound on the pillars, so the holes are being made in these banners. Why holes are being in these banners? Now have you all understood? I think it is being clear that the holes are being made in these banners because when the wind blows in high speed, it could pass through these banners. Okay, it could pass through the holes of these banners easily without damaging these banners. Otherwise the moving wind or this moving air will cause damage to these banners. It could even it could tear them off when it is, because it is having high pressure. It is due to high pressure which is present in these blowing winds. Okay, similarly this experience is there when you are exerting, when you are riding a bicycle. Then if air is blowing or the wind is blowing, and if you want to move in the direction opposite to the wind, means wind is blowing from this side and you are moving to this side on your bicycle. Now what happens, you also exert pressure, you will feel that air pressure when you are riding a bicycle against the pressure of this air. Okay, so these are some experiences which could say that moving air also exerts pressure. Okay, not only air, moving air is also exerting pressure on the various objects including human beings. Next, see, this example has been explained here. When you are riding a bicycle, we find it is easier to move the bicycle forward if the wind is coming from the back side. Yes, if the wind is coming from back side and you are also moving in the same direction. Okay, so what will happen, you will move easily. It is easier to move. Okay, it is easier to move. But what happens if the wind is coming from the opposite side? In this diagram, as wind is coming from this side and you are moving to opposite side, so in this condition the air is going to apply certain force, certain pressure, because of which you also feel some pressure. You will also feel very hard to keep the bicycle moving against the wind. Fine, against the wind. So the next thing is that when you are rowing a boat, in the same condition it is also being experienced, that when boat is being rowed and we find easier when the boat is moving forward and wind is coming from the back side. Okay, so it is going to be on the same side. For example, if the waves are in this direction and your boat is also sailing in the same direction, you will be easily moving because the air pressure is applied from the backside of your boat and it moves forward. Now what happens if the waves are moving in this way and you are coming from this way? So you need to apply more pressure to row your boat. Okay, so this is because moving air is applying pressure on this boat on the other side, and this is going to stop. This is going to try the object to move in the opposite direction. Okay, it tries to take the things with it. But if you are applying more pressure than the wind, then only you could survive, then you could be moving in the in the direction which you desire. Okay, so rowing a boat in a lake or a river, then if the wind is coming from behind us, it is very easier for us to move. But if it is moving in the forward direction and the wind is coming from the backward direction, it is very much difficult to row a boat in the direction opposite to it. Okay, so it is very much difficult. Next thing is that we are trying to fly a kite. Okay, I think everybody has tried this, flying a kite in a windy day. Then it is very easy for us. Okay, it is very easy for us to fly a kite during winds. Now if the wind is coming from the back side of the striker and it strikes the kite, okay, the person who is flying a kite, if it is striking if this kite is having the air from the back side, it will also fly very nicely. And if the air is coming from this side, it is not going to fly, because it is not going to be very high. It is not going to fly very high because air is going to make this kite again fall on the ground. Why? It is not going to blow, it is not going to fly, because air is exerting pressure on the opposite direction, so that this kite is not able to fly in the sky because of the high pressure which is exerted by the wind on this kite. These examples are making very much clear to us that the moving air is also applying pressure, means this wind is also applying pressure on the object which is moving. Fine. Or when it is standing also, if it is standstill, then also the moving air is applying pressure on the object. It could fall, it could tear. Okay, so many things are there. So in these conditions we have seen that moving air is also exerting pressure similar to the pressure which was exerted by the air which is present inside the container. Okay. Now these experiences are going to tell you that if wind blows in the same direction of the object when it is moving, the movement is easier. Okay, so we came to know that if wind is blowing in the same direction in which the object is moving, it makes the object movement very easy. As we have seen in the first example that if the trees are there, if it is standstill, it is not moving, and if the wind is blowing, the leaves are going to move in the direction towards the wind. Okay, now if you are moving on bicycle, or you are riding a bicycle, and if the air is coming from behind, it is very easier for you to move. Similarly, if the boat is there and you are rowing the boat in the same direction to the wind, then it is very easier for you to row a boat. Okay, so these are the examples where we have seen that if the movement is taking place by the object towards the direction of the wind where it is coming, means with the direction of the wind from where it is coming, it becomes very easy. Fine. On the other hand, if the air is blown in the opposite direction to the motion of the object, it is very difficult for the object to move. Okay, if the air is coming from the forward side and you are coming from this side, then what will happen? You are not going to move very easily. So it is very difficult for you all to move. Why? Because air is exerting pressure. This moving air is also exerting pressure. So we have studied about the two properties of air. That first one was air is when it is present inside a container, it is applying the air pressure. It is also applying pressure on the walls of the container, due to which it crushed. But it is also applying pressure when it is moving. So okay, so in the case of flying kite, in the case of rowing boat, in the case of riding a bicycle, all these are the examples which makes very easy to understand that if you are moving in the direction of the moving wind, it is easy, and if you are moving opposite to the direction of the moving wind, it is very difficult because of the air pressure. Now we know that the expansion of air and contraction of air. So expansion means, the word expansion means the expansion means to increase in any form. So in expansion means increase in volume. In the term of contraction means decrease in the volume. Now again, one more property of air is that air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Fine, air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Please understand these words, that if you know the meaning of the word expansion of air and contraction of air, it means expansion means it is going to air is going to expand, air is going to increase in its volume when it is being heated up, and it is going to be contracted when it is cooled. So in other words, when air is heated, its volume increases and it keeps on occupying a bigger space. Now when air is cooled, then what will happen? Then volume is decreased and it occupies smaller space. So please understand this phenomenon, that if the volume is increased in a bigger space, then air is then if air is heated up, and if air is cooled, then the volume is decreased and it occupies very less space, because we are talking about the volume. And volume means it is going to occupy the atoms, the molecules of any object is going to occupy some space. So how much this is said that when it is being heated, when this air is going to be heated up, then it is going to expand and it occupies more volume, it occupies more space. Okay, and if the air is being condensed, if the air is being cooled, then it is going to occupy very less space in the container. Okay, so this is going to be explained with the help of the experiment of this contraction and expansion of the air on heating and cooling respectively. Okay, heating, it expands, cooling, it contracts. So this is the experiment which tells you about air is expanded during heating, and it is going to contract during cooling. Now, when air is heated, its volume is going to increase. Okay, it is going to occupy a larger space. It is going to occupy a larger space. Now, if we say that air expands on heating, we have to prove it with the help of an activity. So, the activity here is what you have to take. You have to take a boiling tube. Okay, so this is a boiling tube where it has air inside it, because if the empty vessel is there, it means it contains the air inside it. The empty boiling tube contains air, although we cannot see air, but still we feel that it seems to be, or it is being proved that the objects which are empty, it also contains air in it. Okay, so it is now take a balloon. You have to take a balloon and you have to stretch it and stretch the mouth of the balloon and fix it tightly over the neck of the boiling tube. Okay, see what you have to do. You have to take a boiling tube in which air is already present. Now you will put this rubber balloon over this, and the mouth should be sealed very nicely. It should be airtighted. Okay, by wrapping a tape just around this mouth of the balloon and the test tube. Okay, now what you will do, you will put some you will put this tube in a beaker containing hot water. Okay, it containing hot water. Now if as soon as you are putting this boiling tube inside the hot water beaker, you will see some changes in this balloon. Okay, what you are going to observe, you will observe certain changes in this balloon, which is being tightly packed over the boiling tube. Now please tell what is the difference between both the pictures. So it is very easy to find that the difference between these two pictures is that in the volume of this balloon. So here in this first picture, the balloon was very small, but as soon as it was put inside this hot water beaker, it started expanding, and the air is going to be it is going to move inside this balloon, and it started inflating. Okay, so this is the only experiment which is going to, this is very simple experiment which is going to tell you about the air expands on heating. Why air has gone inside? Because air which was present inside the tube has raised up, and then complete air has entered inside the balloon, because of which balloon started inflating. So so the second step was that you took some hot water in a beaker, then you placed the boiling tube inside it, having rubber balloon over it. Now after some time, you see that balloon gets inflated. Okay, inflated means air has been completely filled inside it. Now this explains that when the boiling tube is placed in the hot water, air is present in the boiling tube, it gets heated up and expanded its volume, and its volume increases. So the increased volume of the air has filled inside the balloon, and the balloon started inflating. It is not going to inflate much because the test tube was very small. That is why the small amount of expansion will be seen in the balloon only. Why? Because the test tube is very small and this much amount of air is only present, so it could inflate the balloon till this much height. Okay, it is not going to inflate it completely as you are inflating in your birthday parties. So here for decorations. Okay, so here the concept is that air is going to be expanded when it is being heated up, so it increases its volume. It is that the expansion of air is on heating, which inflates the balloon when the boiling tube is placed in hot water. From this activity, we conclude that air expands on heating. Now take out the boiling tube from the hot water and allow it to cool, or you keep it in the cold water. Then what you will see after some time, this balloon started deflating. It again it comes back to its original size and shape. Okay, so this is because air is present in the boiling tube, and the balloon starts contracting on cooling, due to which volume decreased and the balloon gets deflated. So this inflation and deflation of this balloon was based upon the amount of air which was present, the volume of air which was present inside the tube and which was present inside that balloon. And from where did this air went inside that balloon? Because it was already present in the test tube. So this experiment is going to explain, or it has explained very easily, that air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. That is why balloon got inflated when air expanded on heating, and it got contracted when it was cooled down. Fine. Now next thing is that hot air is lighter than the cold air, or the warm air is lighter than the cold air. So this concept was also taught you while this land breeze and sea breeze concept in chapter 3rd, that was heat. Okay. Now this conduction, convection, radiation. So here what we have seen, we have just studied that the air expands on heating and occupies more space. Now when the same air is occupying more space, it becomes lighter or it becomes very heavy. Okay, so two conditions are there. If it is occupying space, the object becomes very heavy, or this air becomes very lighter. So air which is hot in its nature, means hot air is lighter and cold air is, it is not going to be such having it is not very heavy, it is heavy. Yes, so hot air is always lighter and cold air is always heavy. So this when air gets heated up from a place, it expands and becomes lighter and raises up in the sky. Okay, so that is why water vapor rises up. That is why when evaporation is taking place, the sea water was evaporated in the atmosphere, and it was heated up because of the sun's rays, and because of the sun's rays the molecules started moving, and water vapor started moving on the upside, and it forms clouds. Okay, similarly, why it is rising up? Because hot air becomes lighter and it rises up. So please remember this concept, that whenever the air is become hot, it becomes hot, it is becoming lighter, and if it cools, then it becomes heavy. Now this will describe an activity to show that air is lighter or it is less dense than the cold air. Okay, so this activity is that you will take two paper bags, okay, or you can take paper cups also, exactly of the same size. You will hang these two paper cups. Okay, you will hang these two paper cups inverted position with the faces pointing downwards. Okay, so this inverted position, you will take two paper cups and you will hang these two paper cups on the light wooden stick. Okay, with the help of short thread, you can make the balance kind of thing. Tie the thread in the middle also. So you will make like this, and in the we will see the diagram now. Now you will take two paper cups here, or you can take two paper bags. Even inverted paper bag should be there, and you will tie a thread in between, and the dimension of the threads must be equal to each other. Now do one thing. What you will do is you will hold this thread in your hand, which is placed here. You will hold this in your hand, and you will see the changes. You will see that there is no change when air is present normally in your room. Okay, now next thing what you will do, it is perfectly placed, it is perfectly in the horizontal position. The paper bags are not going to change its position when it is placed inside a room. Okay, this is perfectly in a horizontal on horizontal place when two paper bags contain equal amount of air. Okay, it was containing equal amount of air because this was also empty, this was also empty. You have taken the equal sized paper bag. That is why the same amount of the same amount of cold air has entered inside this inverted paper bag. Now what you will do, you will just bring a burning candle below this paper bag. Okay, no, you are not going to touch this paper bag with the candle. Then what will happen? It is going to be burnt and it is going to turn into ashes. So please be careful while bringing the this paper bag near to this candle. So you will keep away this candle. A little bit gap should be there between the burning candle and your paper bag. So one either of the paper bags you can use. Below one of your paper bag, you will put this candle and you will observe the changes. Now as soon as you are observing the changes, you will soon see that one of the paper bag got raised up and other one got down. Why this has happened? So this experiment is going to tell you that the air which was present inside this paper bag and near this candle, it was heated up. Okay, so the water vapor which was present, not the water but the air which was present in this near this candle as well as this paper bag, it turned into the hot air. This cold air has turned into hot air, and because of this hot air it becomes lighter and it rises up, because of which the side which was containing this hot air got raised up because it was lighter, okay, and the cold air which was heavy, it started coming down. So this experiment is perfectly telling you about that hot air is lighter and it rises up, okay. So with the rising of this hot air, so this paper bag also got raised up, and the this cold air bag was coming down on the other hand. Fine. So this experiment has explained you very nicely that how is this paper bag experiment shows that air expands on heating and contracts on this is going to tell you that light air is going to rise up and cold air is very heavy and it comes down. So two experiments, so there's two conclusions in the nature also of the hot air. We have seen that hot air is lighter than the cold air, and it is and this lighter air rises up, okay. So two things we have seen, that hot air is lighter than the cold air, and secondly we have seen that it becomes when this hot air is lighter it rises up. So two conclusions are there. So the similar fact is utilized in launching of the air balloons, okay. So similar fact is being utilized in launching of the air balloons. How is this launching of the air balloon taking place? So you could see that so many hot air balloons are flying in the sky. So what is being done? A white, gray, black substance from a small object, it is emitted from a burning it emits a burning smoke, okay. So the smoke rises up. That is why smoke also rises up, because it becomes lighter and it rises up. So smoke produced by this burning substance is accompanied by the hot air, okay. So near this base of this hot air balloon, something is being lighted up, and then it is going to produce the smoke with the help of the air also which is present inside this balloon also gets heated up and it rises up. So once this hot air is rising up, it also starts flying in the sky, okay. So this hot air also starts rising up in the sky, and with the help of the moving wind it moves here and there in the sky. So the air inside the house also gets warmed up. Why? So this concept which is present with the hot air is that hot air is lighter and it rises up, okay. So please remember these two concepts, because of which many experiments, many applications are also there with this only. So in your room also you can observe that windows are present in the sides of the wall, and ventilator is present at the above. Now why is this ventilator being present at the above side, okay. So we can easily conclude that whenever the hot air is present inside a room, it becomes lighter and it rises up. So as soon as it is going to rise up, it is going to be warm, and the room air is going to rise up, okay. So this is what is about the burning of the fuels also takes place in the kitchen. So similar things happens when burning of the substance is taking place inside a kitchen. So why flame also rises up? Because hot air is present. The candle flame also is rising up. Why? Because the sides of this burning candle flame is going to become hot and it rises up. With the rising up of this hot air, the candle flame also tends to rise up. Similarly, the fresh air, these windows are placed in the walls, whereas these ventilators are always placed high up on the just above the windows, okay. It is not present anywhere in the house, it is present just above the windows. And its height is also very high. The same concept is behind it, only that if the room is filled with hot air, it could be coming out from the exhaust, it is going to come out from the ventilators, and the fresh air is going to enter inside inside your house or inside your room with the help of the windows. Because you have seen that once the hot air is moving up, it is going to make some space, and that space is being filled with the cold air, okay. So this continues, and because of which the circulation of air is taking place, because of which the convectional current is flowing. Therefore it is said that air also shows a convectional current, okay. Now next thing is that we can also observe so many other examples which is going to tell you about the fact that air is lighter than the cold air. Okay, hot air is lighter than the cold air. So another example of this is burning of LPGs, which is on which you cook food. Why is the flame, why it happens that the flame of LPG gas which is burning in your kitchen is rising up? The same concept behind it also is there, that the air which is present near to the flame, burning flame, it heats up the air which is present near it, and it rises up, because of which the container gets the complete heat, and the food is going to be cooked. So we can see that these two concept of hot air and the cold air is very much having very much application in the daily life. Fine. So smoke also rises up when you burn something. It is going to rise up. Water vapor rises up because hot air is lighter and it rises up. So we have seen the properties of air, that air is exerting pressure in if it is present inside a container, or if it is present in or if it is moving, then also it is exerting some pressure. And it also, we have also seen that air is expanding on heating and contracts on cooling. So these are the properties of air, because of which many applications can be seen in your daily life. Fine. So this was all about today's video. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topics to be discussed.